Hey guys, welcome to day 14 of the Devote Series. Today we're going to be going over Isaiah chapter 35 verses 1 to 10. So for some context, if you look at the verse or the chapter before Isaiah chapter 34, it's a completely different tone than chapter 35 is. It's hopeless, it's bloody, it's dark. It's about the Lord's wrath against all the nations on the earth. And by the end of that chapter, God paints this picture of this empty, desolate wasteland where only animals roam. And that's why it's so beautiful when chapter 35, verse 1 opens up with, "The desert and parched land will be glad, the wilderness will rejoice and blossom." Because even in our darkest times, there is hope. Even when we feel abandoned, God is still there with us. Yes, those nations experienced their judgment, and it was painful, but God's character cannot tolerate sin. It's just not in his blood and it defiles his name. However, he does promise restoration, as you can see if you continue the passage. Verse 4 says, "Be strong, do not fear. Your God will come. He will come with vengeance, with divine retribution. He will come to save you." He then picks up the desert metaphor that he was painting previously. He assures us that water will gush forth and streams in desert. Even in the desert, God can bring an abundance of life and beauty. It's a reminder to be happy, to find joy despite trying times, and to praise God constantly. And it can be hard because, especially with events like last week with the shooting, it can be hard to remember that God's in control of your life and that he has everything planned and didn't forget about you. But God promises that no matter what pain you experienced, he will bless you so abundantly that in verse 10 it says, "Gladness and joy will overtake you, and sorrow and sighing will flee away." He has the complete power to remove your hurt and heal your heart. Lastly, in this passage, God mentions a path or a highway called the way of holiness. It's not a path for those who are wicked or for those who are unclean. It's a path for those who the Lord has personally redeemed and rescued. Those who learn from their judgments, their past mistakes, and their trials. When you're feeling down about the state that our world is in, or if you're worried about your future, or if you're worried about a loved one, or anything, I hope you remember Isaiah 35 and the promises that God personally delivers. Those verses will definitely carry you through some hard times. And finally, as Lent continues and you're tempted to pick up old, destructive habits and behaviors, I hope you choose God's way of holiness. All right, thanks guys. Have a great Saturday.